What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast. We're talking about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers. Those people of color have made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So thank you for tuning in. So Monday and Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask a CISSP, Fridays everything else, movies, splits, games, all that cool stuff. So if you came here for the cyber, that's not what this episode is. This episode is everything else. So without further ado, Shannon, how was your week?
Man, it was actually really the last couple of weeks, right? We had our break, so it was like it's a couple of weeks of stuff to catch up on. It was kind of eventful, right? So work was pretty eventful, a lot of stuff going on there, some progress being made on some things. That was pretty good. What else did we do? So for the Memorial Day weekend, the family, we took a quick staycation and went to Great Wolf Lodge. Here's the thing. This is how I know I love my children, because I do this for them. Like, Great Wolf Lodge is not for me. It's a lot of money for very little benefit for me, right? I don't need to be at a water park at my age.
What about our Great Wolf Lodge sponsorship coming up?
I was like, hey, I was about to pull a Mayweather, right? Like, he was like, does Red Bull pay us? He was like, oh, we didn't deal with that funky Red Bull, right? No, man, like, I don't know. If that is the case, I love Great Wolf Lodge, right? And give me some stays on the house, right? If you're going to sponsor the show. But no, my children love it, right? And it's one of those things where anytime I mention it, they're all for it, right? But it's because I think they just don't know the value of $1 and how overpriced it is.
They don't understand money.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I can get you all this candy for less than $17 a cup. You know what I mean? Right? It's crazy, man. It's wild. But no, they enjoyed themselves. Got lots of video and pictures of them doing the rock climbing wall and like they had like this little I don't want to call it an obstacle course, but they put you on a cable and you're suspended above where you do stuff, right? Did the mini golf, right? Magic Quest, this thing where you go around with wands and search out these things. They love it. It's all for them. But yeah, they loved it. They had a good time. That's all that matters to me, right? TV watching. So I watched a few things, right? So Netflix. I don't know if you ever seen the Untold series they do. Usually it's like sports related. They had one on Favre. They were talking about Brett Favre.
No, yeah, I saw the thumbnail, but I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, right? Because like I mean, I keep up with sports, and some of the stuff I knew, some of the stuff I'm like, ooh, okay, I didn't realize that was like that. Like his whole controversy with the Jets sports journalist.
Yeah, I was gonna say he some pictures or something. Right?
Yeah, well, he was sending pictures that were unwanted,
unsolicited.
Pictures, there you go. But it turns out she never actually leaked the story. Like, somebody else leaked it on her behalf. She didn't come out and say he did this to me. She was afraid of losing her job. So somebody else actually put it out there like, hey, he was doing these things, which was different from how I thought it went down. But it was an interesting watch, man. Like it's always one of those things where if he was your hero, they tell you to never meet your heroes, right? Well, these documentaries do a very good job of putting you
right
where you know a lot about them, you know what I mean, based off people. Because like they had journalists from Green Bay that were talking stuff. Like this one guy, it's crazy because he was like, he said his editor came to him and said, hey, I need you to write an article about Brett Favre, the family man, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And the guy was like, I'm sorry, I don't write fiction. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. I was like, oh.
Jeez.
I mean, and there have been rumors, like when it comes to athletes, like there's a fair amount of them that are out there doing their dirt, but it was no.
Yeah, wasn't he allegedly steal money from like people or something sitting there? Okay, I gotta watch it because there's a lot of weird fire stuff.
Yeah, it was the welfare fund in Mississippi, right? Like he's originally from Mississippi, and this is after he retired. Like that case is still ongoing right now because of the amount of people that were in the know for that. So like the governor, the person that ran the welfare program, Brett Favre, they got texts of stuff that was sent back and forth. Like if you're texting to government employees, you better believe that their devices can be
it's official record.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's just stuff going on there where it's like it was an interesting watch, man. For any sports fans out there, I highly suggest it. What was the other thing I watched? So I watched another documentary recently about the Titan submersible, the one that imploded a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, that was interesting in that the people that they interview on there, like this guy that ran this company, Stockton Rush, I think was his name. I remember his name being. He died. It's sad, but that guy definitely was just flouting the rules and just did not care about what was going on. Like some of the stuff
Gotcha.
that some of the people that were in the know and that were working for Ocean Gate, some of the stuff they said, they were just like, there's no way. Because the Coast Guard did an investigation on it, right? And they're going to release the report later this year, I want to say the documentary said. But some of the stuff that's come out and been in the news, it's like this guy definitely was just, he flouted the rules. He didn't care. He was going to do it anyway, right? So like these people did, him and the people that were with him did not have to die, but he just was like, I do what I do. Like one of the people said that he came out and said one time, like they were in the briefings they do before they go on a dive. He was like, yeah, he said, we're registered in, what did he say? The Bahamas. He said, there's no punitive, there's no, what did he say? Something along the lines of, I will not be punished by the Bahamas if something should go wrong. So don't try to sue me, is what he said, right? And like he came right out and said it. And
Yeah.
so it's like, you're doing wrong then. Like if for you to even kind of make that joke, you're flouting the rules. And it's crazy. There was one other guy that was in the documentary that he was as adventurous as this guy was, but even he was kind of like, yeah, there was a point where it was like that might have been a bit much, right? But and I don't know what it is with me, like a lot of things that are like Titanic or like disaster related, like I read up on them, right? Like it's just, I don't know why it appeals to me, why it appeals to the masses. I think it's one of those things where it's like, because it was in the news so heavy on rotation.
Right.
Remember, there was that 4 days where they were like, they could still be alive. And they show some stuff in this documentary where it's like, they kind of knew, like there's a point, it's reported in the news where his wife, the owner, Stockton Rush, his wife was head of communications or whatever it was. And I saw this before I saw the documentary where there was a news article where they have video because they're documenting everything, where she hears the implosion. We know it's the implosion. And she looks at this guy and says, what is this sound? And that guy looks at another guy. And I'm like, he knew right then, like, cause she was like, what's that sound? And he looks at another guy that's standing there, and the guy that he's looking at walks out of the room. Like he kind of walks kind of fast out of the room. So I think he knew too what they had just heard because of what they knew what was going on in the background, like all the problems they were having and things of that nature. And I think maybe the wife knew because she had like kind of an uncomfortable smile on her face when she said it to him. Like, what was that sound? But the thing is, I think they got a little bit of false hope because they heard the sound, and then it was a couple seconds later, there was a message that came up from the submersible, right? Okay, well, maybe, but it was just a matter of the amount of time it takes for sound to travel and for that communication to get there. Like you heard the implosion. Which I don't know. It's a sad state of affairs, especially when you had that kid that was 19. I call him a kid. You say over 18 is an adult, but the one son is just, it's a sad state of affairs. And like his mother and the other guy's wife was on the show, and they're interviewing her and they're talking to her, and it's like, man, that's painful. Like I can't imagine losing, like if I was to lose my wife and one of my children, on an adventure like that, right? Like I can't imagine that,
Yeah,
again,
it reminds me of Kobe and his daughter, right?
Right. Like when him and Gianna were on the chopper, it's like, because what's wild about that is I remember watching the news coverage on that, and there was a point where they said the whole family was on the plane, like Kobe's whole family was on the plane. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I know he has like 4 kids, his wife, him. I was like, that's terrible. And then it's, I'm not saying it's better. It was only 2 of them, but like it's one of those things where in this day and age, like things like that happen, and it's sad, man. But with the Kobe situation, it wasn't like, I don't think anyway, they were flying a helicopter that they knew had issues, right? Like
No, yeah. It just reminded me because of the dynamic, right?
Yeah.
A parent and their child.
Right. But yeah, it was a sad state of affairs, man. But that's kind of where we are in the world, to where people are just pushing those boundaries and they just try to find a way around these things. It's just sad. But yeah, I've been watching a little bit more Modern Family. I'm almost at the end of that. But yeah, that's kind of it, man. I've been spending time with the family, going out, doing stuff. But what about you, man? I know you had an adventurous time. What about you? How was your last couple weeks?
Yeah, I had a good time. So my wife took me to Cancun to celebrate belated birthday, just because the holiday comes after my birthday. So it was like we could just utilize these days off to go and do a quick turnaround vacation. So did 3 days. Yeah, I was there for 3 days. Got really bad sunburn on my forehead and my shoulders and back, but that did not deter me whatsoever. Luckily, it didn't start bothering me until it was time to leave. And I was like, oh man, you see my forehead's all broken out. I was like, oh man, I really did it this time. Yeah, that for whatever reason, those UV rays out there are different than in Florida, right? Like I got ate up. Sunlight's different in Mexico, but I had a great time. It was a great resort. I went to the Majestic out there, one of the Majestics that's out there by the water. We had a blast, did a bunch of stuff I never thought I'd do. They had a foam party. I went to that. They had a silent party. So I don't know if you know what a silent party is. So silent party, yeah, with the headphones.
The headphones, yeah.
Yeah, there's 3 DJs. In this one, there was 3 DJs. A red, blue, and green channel basically, and you get to switch between them with the headphones. Everybody it's funny because like you take your headphones off to listen, and you just hear like flip flops, people laughing. But yeah, the different channels. So you see some people would not be in sync because they'd be on different channels, listen to different music. But I had a good time. Probably the most I've ever danced in my life. To be honest with you, I'm not a dancer. I'm not coordinated since birth. You know how kids dance when they're little? Not me. I sat still. All right. I'm very uncoordinated, but I had a great time. I'm 42 now. I just turned 42. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do this and have fun. So me and my wife did it. We had a blast. So did all that good stuff. Had a great time. So I forgot to send you guys a picture. There was a Bills jersey in the sports bar there. So the Bills Mafia are everywhere. Right? You can't escape us. We're everywhere you want to be.
You know what's crazy is I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, "Hey, did you see this projection that the Bills are the only team in the NFL that are projected to go undefeated?" And I was like, "I plan on doing that week 1, like week 1
undefeated."
That's what he told me. I was like, I had not seen that. He's like, they're the only team in the NFL projected right now. Like they have what do you call it? The gambling thing, the betting odds, right? Like the score, whatever you call it. I'm not a betting guy, but yeah, they're favored in every game.
That's very interesting. Yeah. Like we have a lot of weapons. I don't know about undefeated. Like I do want to finally make it to Super Bowl, right? But yeah, undefeated, I don't know. Like the last team that did that lost the Super Bowl.
That's true.
No, thank you. And I cheered so hard. I was in Alaska when the Patriots lost that game. I cheered so hard. I was so happy. See, there was so many upset people in that room I was in because I was active duty and I was actually working like a mid shift or whatever. So I was on the operations floor and they were playing the game. Oh, I rubbed it in so hard because I am not a Patriots fan. So there it is. What else did I do? When I came home, we also, just chilled out, again, recovering from the sunburn and what have you. I didn't really do much, which was great. So the guide is finished, right? So definitely wait for it to drop. The Other Side of the Firewall, the real life stories of movers, shakers, and glass ceiling breakers in cybersecurity is the title, right? Yeah, 27 people I interviewed. I got my own origin story in there as well. All written, waiting for the editor to bring it back. But I just did a lot of research on how to do a book launch by yourself, self-published. I'm going to do everything by myself, what I need to do, who I need to reach out to. So that will start rolling soon. The whole point was to not do much going into this because I'm be super busy for myself. Right? So that's even more pressure. So I was like, I'm just going to relax and do nothing. That's exactly what I did. It was great. What did I watch? So I watched Mickey 17. I didn't do it for me. It was interesting, but
is it because he wasn't glowing in the daylight? Like maybe you didn't like it because he wasn't.
Oh yeah, he did. He was a Twilight guy. Yeah. He plays a couple characters, 16 to be exact, right? Or no, 17. Plays 17 characters because there is an 18th one, right? But the 17th one version of him is what they focus on. And like he basically sold himself to a company because he was trying to get off of the planet that he was on, and in doing so, he gets put into bad situations for the sake of science research, and they're trying to basically move a colony of people to another planet. They need somebody who doesn't have to put on a hazmat suit, which is him. After he dies, they just print out another one. But the thing is, you can't have 2 at the same time. That's against the law. So that causes a wrinkle in things when one of him doesn't die like he's supposed to. But interesting movie, not quite. I wouldn't go out your way to look at it, basically. Like if you see it, you see it.
I hadn't seen it. So like I saw the thumbnail, like where it's got multiple versions of him and then they got the eyes crossed out like they're dead, right? Like is what I assume that's supposed to be. But like I read the quick synopsis they always put with the thumbnails and I was like, that's not for me. And I'm kind of surprised you didn't like it because of how it read to me. Like that's usually
Yeah, it should have been something. I don't know. Like it wasn't funny enough, and it wasn't story enough, like enough narrative to it. Like it was just like was like in a pocket that was just like meh. I actually fell asleep on the ending and had to watch the ending again the next day, and I was just like, nah, I see why I fell asleep. So we got a lot of stars in it, but yeah, it just didn't pull me enough to ever want to watch it again. Today we're gonna go watch Final Destination Bloodlines. Like Junior really wants to see it, so we're gonna go to the movies and see that one. Iffy on it. Like I've think I've watched all of them. I might have missed one or two. I'm not sure, but I do want to see it because Tony Todd's in it. But I could have waited for this to come home. Like I skipped out on the Thunderbolts, but I'm gonna watch Final Destination Bloodlines in theater. The last one I did watch in the theater was the first one. So I did see the first Final Destination in theater, yeah, which was really good. So, but I think the first couple were my favorite. Hopefully, they say this one's good though. So we will see. Then TV show wise, didn't really watch anything. Oh yeah, I did actually. So I watched the finales of The Amazing Race. I forget what season they're on. Survivor 47, I believe. Is this 47? No, it's 48. So Survivor 48. I watched the endings of those. Very satisfying. I like who won. That's the first time I ever watched Survivor from beginning to end. Usually I catch it at the end when they've weeded out a bunch of people. But I got to watch all the people hit the beach down to the last three when they go to tribal. So I thought it was pretty good. So I'm a fan now. I'll watch season 49 should be dropping because they do 2 a year. So it should be dropping in the fall. So I'll definitely watch that one as well. Amazing Race was good too. I think they're already on a new season, so I'm behind on that one. Solo Leveling is the anime I picked up. So a friend of mine, Matt, was like, "You got to watch this." So I started watching it. I was just like, "Meh." At the beginning, like the first couple episodes, I was like, "It's very much like every anime I've ever seen." And then there's a twist. I'm like, "Oh," and it just keeps going from there. I was like, "This is not a path I thought they were taking." It just keeps going. I'm just like, "Okay, I like it. I like it." It's very short, right? Comparative. It's only 12 episodes per season. Only 2 seasons out there, so I could do that. That's doable. Some animes, they'd be like, "Yeah, we're on episode 1000." I'd be like, "No, I'm not watching that. Not going to happen." And then game-wise, still playing the same 2 games. So Expedition 33, as well as Doom the Dark Ages. I'm almost done with Doom the Dark Ages, though. It's pretty short. It's just I can't play it in front of the kids, so I got to play it on my own time because it's pretty violent. But really good. I'm really enjoying it. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, I didn't do a lot, but that seems like a lot. But it's not really a lot. And then the 5th, was that Thursday? Because today's the 1st. So that Switch 2 drops. So I still have a confirmation since I got it. It's coming from Best Buy. It should be at the house on that day. So just in time. I bet you I get the guide back from the editor probably the same day as the Switch drops. I guarantee it. I'm like,
decisions.
So I only have one game for it. I bought the system and I bought Mario Kart. I tried to get the bundle, sold out. So I had to buy them separately. The game's getting expensive, boy, $80. But it is a game that I'll be playing for the entire life of the Switch.
And you said Nintendo never brings their prices down either, right? Or seldom brings their prices down.
Very seldom. They'll take a couple bucks off. But typically they hold their value. That's why that's the only publisher where I buy their games physical copy because I know I'll be able to trade them in if I want to later on, which I'm still debating. Like I got my Switch and the games. I'm like, I could trade this in and make a good piece of money to then buy accessories for the new one. So I'm kind of on the fence. I'm like, do I keep it though? Because I kept the last generation of consoles only because I was in Turkey. There was no place to trade them in. So I got them in a box. And I'm like, well, is now the time to start collecting them? Like these systems kind of unremarkable. It's not like having an original NES or something. So I'm on the fence. I'm thinking about it. I might just take all of them to like a GameStop and just trade everything in and buy some accessories or whatever. So we will see. I'll keep you posted on that one. But for whatever reason, I'm just like, I could just keep them. But then do I start collecting old systems? Like, do I go back and try to find a Dreamcast and stuff like that? I don't know.
That's how the video console or video game console museum starts up, right? Like
right. And I'm not big into clutter. Like they collect dust, and I would have to always have like adapters because like these things are going to not be able to. Well, these modern systems you'll always be able to plug them in through HDMI, but like the old stuff is getting harder and harder. A lot of TVs don't ship with like auxiliary cables and composite cables and things of that nature. So I don't know. I have to think about that one, but definitely continue to check us out. Like, so we had a very remarkable month actually. So we have over 3,000 downloads. So we got 15,000 listeners on the radio, 3,000 on the internet through the TuneIn app, and now 3,000 for the first time. I think I got to go back through the historicals, but I don't think we've ever had 3,000 downloads. So thank you. I appreciate that. I think some of that has to do with actually having a website to go to. Like I debated for years about having a website. I was like, this is pointless. I don't need a website. But it seems to be a lot of traffic coming from the website. So might have been worth it this whole time. But hopefully they keep that trend up, right? It's not just a
flash in the pan or like a quick,
or something like that, like a coincidence or something like that. But we were 4 episodes lighter this month because of the break, and we still went over 3,000. So it's pretty remarkable. Definitely continue to hit up all the websites that go by our name. So the other side of the firewall.com, ramcyber.io, or you could just search the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or ask a CISSP. You can find me personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on pretty much everywhere, but LinkedIn is where I'm most responsive. And then, continue to tune in. We greatly appreciate it. Look for the guide. It's going to drop sometime soon. So definitely I'll start to advertise that pretty soon as I get that copy back from the editor. So again, it's going to be called The Other Side of the Firewall, the real life stories of movers, shakers, and glass ceiling breakers in cybersecurity. And you'll be able to find it on the other side of the firewall.com. Yeah. Stay safe. Stay secure.